The control key is known to anybody who has used the computer keyboard. But Macs have a command key in addition to control. Control keys have been on Apple computers for a long time, dating back to the days of the 8-bit computers such as the Apple I, which allowed people to communicate with large mainframe computers. The notion was, and still is, that holding one key down while pressing another would trigger a specific function. They would specifically let users manage the computer via the keyboard, hence the name. Rather than typing in printable characters, Apple wanted to make it easier for consumers to give more helpful commands quickly. Starting in early 1980, they added a few special keys to their keyboards. Many Apple computers of the time had both an open Apple and closed Apple key, which allowed for more shortcuts. In contrast to Control+A, which moves the cursor to the beginning of the line, pressing open Apple plus A selects everything in a window. When the Macintosh was released in 1984, the general idea was to allow users to access menu items without having to open them. But why did Apple switch to command from Open Apple? Steve Jobs did not like the Apple logo all over the operating system at the time the Mac was being developed. It was far from minimalism. The Apple logo appeared on the menus as well as on the two Apple keys on the keyboard. Jobs saw this as a cheapening of the company's brand. As a result, Apple created the command key to replace the Open Apple key. The command key is still the primary modifier key for Macs. The control key was kept on Macs not simply to enable more keyboard shortcuts, but also to preserve some of the original terminal capabilities that programmers rely on. So on a PC, Control+A and Control+A on a Mac have distinct functions. The closed Apple key worked similarly to the Alt key on a PC, although it was not as popular as Command. It persisted and developed into the Option key on the Mac. But how did the Command key get its symbol? Susan Kare, an Apple artist, came upon the sign in a reference book when Jobs decided he needed a new symbol. In the Nordic countries, the symbol is used on road signs to show tourist attractions and cultural sites of importance. The symbol was appealing to the rest of the team. Since then, it has been on Macs.